Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity. And we're going to continue with answering questions from the jar. But in lieu of actually pulling a question out, I had a question on my mind that I woke up with today that I want to contemplate and share with you today. And that question I woke up with is a question we basically should be asking probably with every action that we're asked to take part in, with everything that unfolds in front of us, and there might have some element of doing to it. We should ask this question: Is ego ego seeking to be served by life here, or is self with a capital S seeking to serve life here? So let me say that again. Is ego asking to be served by life, or is self asking how it can serve life? So there's so many opportunities for doing in this world, actions that we can take part in. They may be small actions like smiling at a stranger as you walk by, or they may be grand actions like, spending years of your life in a lab finding the cure for cancer. All these are actions. And I think, from what I'm learning anyway, that no action is grander than another action as long as it serves this process of life. How does something serve a process of life, crazy lady? We're serving life when we are making the moment we're experiencing right now better for our being in it. When we make the moment we are having right now better by simply being in it, we have served life. Service is not about service to the ego. So let's get back. What is this ego you're talking about? The ego, of course, is our personal self, our personal mind, this idea, this self-concept we created about who we are. It's our psyche. It's our personality. It is not who we are. It's layers of false self wrapped around who we are. So it's layers of the false self with the small s wrapped around the truth of who we are. That's self with the big S. That's our ego. Our ego is an idea of who we think we are. It's a psyche, and a psyche is a sum of all our learned experiences. All our learned experiences we've had basically since before the time we were 7 got programmed into our minds and have become our personality, become who we think we are. We have developed samskaras, impressions, ideas about what is painful and what isn't painful. What is it we like and what is it we don't like? What is pleasant? What is unpleasant? What is bad and that we should do everything to push away or stay away from? And what is good? Those things we should cling to and hold on to in the hope of repeating them again. That's our psyche. And the samskaras are those knots of emotional energy we experienced that we weren't able to process through. We didn't process through them because they were so good we wanted to cling to them, or we didn't process through them because they were so painful we didn't want them in our conscious awareness. So instead of allowing all life's energy that comes in through our five senses, the vibrations of those sensory information that passes through our five senses and comes into us and is meant to flow through the body, go to the brain, be experienced by the mind, the intellectual mind, the universal mind, the greater mind, and simply released again. Instead of allowing that to happen, what many of us do is we say, let's get our interpreting mind in the way. Let's get our personal mind in there as the mediator between what comes in and what the mind does, we experience as reality. And that the mind is willing to release as reality and let go of and just simply enjoy the experience. So we've created this so-called entity and stuck it in the middle between what comes in and reality. And that thing stuck in the middle is our preferring mind, our perceptual mind, our mind that judges pleasant from unpleasant and selects the pleasant and pushes away the unpleasant. It's our mind that gets attached to the things we think we need in order to feel comfortable inside. It is the part of us that is totally averse to anything we feel will cause us discomfort, shame, or fear, or make us proceed through what we don't like. It is a judging mind, a selecting mind. And it is in the way. And I could say way with a capital W, as in the Taoist tradition, the way, which is the flow of life, the natural flow of life that we're all here to experience. It blocks that way. It blocks that Shakti flow that we may have heard of in the yoga traditions, that flow of energy from the Sat Chit Ananda that's supposed to merge through all the 5 elements of the body and proceed its way through. We are here to experience life as it is, the reality of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, some people would say, but those are terms that we ascribe to these things. We, in our selecting mind, determine if something is good and worthy to come in. And if it's good and worthy to come in, we're going to cling to it and hold it down inside. It is us that deserves if something is bad and ugly and unworthy to stay with, to come in. So it's going to come in regardless. All that sensory information is going to come in. So we don't actually block it. When we think we push something away, we're pushing it down inside, forming that samskara layer, forming that psyche, forming that personality, forming that ego that is in the way of the way with a capital W. It's in the way of the Shakti flow, which is in the way of that pure and natural experience of living. It's in the way of us experiencing the suchness of this experience we've been given to experience. So we judge what is good and bad, right or wrong, and we push away and we pull in. And we don't live life for what life is. We live it based on our expectations of how it should be. And if life doesn't meet our expectations, then life is bad and difficult. If life meets our expectations, life is good. So we have this ego entity within us that is determining how we approach this life. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in that little entity, so pulled down into its drama, its never-ending drama, and its likes and dislikes. We begin to see that as our purpose here, to preserve and maintain this little psyche, to make it happy at the expense of all else. So yeah, we know, we're conditioned socially to know we're supposed to serve, each other and humanity and the world in some way. And we take that word when we're psyche-based and ego-based, and we use that word as a means to serve the ego. I will serve. I will do this for you if I get this back. If, number one, you thank me for it, so you blow up this ego even more as a giving philanthropist, as this wonderful human being that's serving. So you need to thank me so that I feel up. You need to publicly thank me, which would be even better, so to have the whole society that I belong to praising me, building up this little false sense that's stuck in the middle between the sensory input and reality. To build that up. And we call that service. Yeah, I'll go to the soup kitchen 2 days a week, but you're going to see me go to the kitchen 2 days a week. I need to have a thank you. Or maybe we don't need so much the thank you, but we need to know that we've done something because it makes me feel better to go, right? I feel less guilty when I go. And that's still selfish service. That is still serving the little ego. So when you get asked to go to the soup kitchen, you really need to ask yourself that question. Is this ego wanting to be served by life? Or is this self with a capital S wanting to serve life? And that requires a lot of honest reflection, because we have so many layers of this personality wrapped around our true self. So many layers, so many deceptive gaslighting and tricky layers, deceiving us into believing we are the layers, because layers don't want to be ripped away. It's painful. But it's necessary if we want to get to the true self. So the more the layers of personality we have around us, the bigger this knot, the bigger this blockage is between our sensory input and our real experience of living. And the more personality-based we are, the more people-pleasing based we are, the more ego-serving we are, the less authentic and real is our mission and our service. So when we say, oh, I'll do that because it'll make me feel better, or we say no and then we feel guilty, so we call the person up. Oh, I felt so guilty and miserable for not doing, so I better call the person up. I'll feel better if I do it. That's all selfish service. It's good. Please go do it. Don't, go ahead, do experiment with it. See what it feels like. But be willing to reflect on your experience, your internal experience as you did that, right? Who was I really serving there? And sure, if it comes up ego, be honest with yourself. We all have egos. Our mission here is to reduce what the ego needs from life and increase what the self can give to life. So these experiments with the ego, reflecting and discovering, oh my gosh, the ego was still there. I did this for this or that reason. And then we'll know that it was the ego that was being served or seeking to be served, and not the self. And we'll just, through that insight, we'll see how unskillful, maybe and unwholesome it was. It might not have even been that unwholesome. You still did good, which is wonderful. But we want to keep asking those internal questions. Why and what did I get from that? Or who got from that? It's a big question. Who was served by this? The ego or the self in life? And when you are asked to do something that's uncomfortable, life unfolds in front of you and you have this challenging event that just came up in front of you. Maybe you're asked to go work someplace you don't feel comfortable working because they're in need. And you say no to that because it hurts the me, the personality, it's uncomfortable, you feel exposed, you don't like it, all those reasons. And you say no because of that. Then again, you're serving ego. You're protecting ego. You're protecting these false layers you wore around yourself. And the more we dig down to the S, that big capital S in the middle of who we are, the less ego roles we're wearing, the less personality, the more vulnerable we're going to feel, because those were providing protection, those layers of personality were providing a certain state of protection. I always describe myself now, as I kind of dug down to the center, or I'm on my way, as being a shelled animal that's molting. I'm outside my shell now, and all my nerve endings seem to be exposed. And I'm very, very aware of how vulnerable I am to the experience of life, to the circumstances that are coming in. I have no false protection anymore. And so a lot of things that I normally would have done before are uncomfortable for me. People, crowds, working in the school system, all those things used to be so easy for me, but now they're uncomfortable because I don't have this protective shell around me. I'm exposed, and I have, like I said, all my nerve endings. So everything's irritating me. People's emotions are irritating me. Noise is irritating me. It's pretty funny. So I say no a lot, and I hide under this rock waiting for something to happen so that I can go back out there. And I'm waiting for another shell to build around me. Here I spent these decades getting rid of these shells, coming to terms with life taking the shells away through circumstances, some pretty heavy circumstances, taking my professional roles away, taking my financial stability away, taking my health away to some degree, taking my ability to help my children away, or my realization about my inability to help my children. They are not mine, they just come through me. And to see all those roles torn off, I'm exposed. But this is when life is asking me to experience it. Life continues to unfold in front of this human I call me, offering me challenges, offering me experiences. And I keep saying no, or I hide my head pretending that I'm not the one being asked, it's somebody else, and I'll let someone else take that one. I won't deal with that one. It's too uncomfortable. Instead of just stepping out, away from this rock, exposed and real and authentic as I can possibly be, and saying, yes, okay, life. This self will serve. And when this self serves, it's not about what I, as a human, get back. This little me. It's not about me being comfortable and happy with what I've done. It's not about people praising me. It's not about people accepting me. They may still reject me. They may not like what I do. They may criticize it. I may feel uncomfortable and I may not like it. But that is an opportunity for me to experience the self in action. Because whatever remaining bits of ego still are attached to me, they may get irritated, but it's not the self that's getting irritated by this. The self is just doing what it's asked to do. It's just serving life, serving the moment. And I have the opportunity in that moment to, instead of complaining about what I'm experiencing, to give everything I got, my whole heart and my whole soul, and find the joy in it. Because there is joy in every experience. And to find the learning in it. I want myself with a capital S to do the serving of this life. And the more that self serves, the less the ego sticks to what I am as one of 8.5 human beings on this planet. Life is not here to serve me. My experience, my reason for being here, is to serve life in every moment it unfolds in front of me, and to make that moment better because I was in it. That's service. And I don't care if you're digging ditches. I don't care if you're just walking down the street and people are walking by. I don't care if you're in a laboratory finding the cure for cancer, or you're on the stage